Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the
Conversations that matter. Show. You
episode fucking 20, man.
20. All right. Okay.
Because today is like a special day of having the 20th podcast. I'm gonna try do something I never did before.
Which is?
I'm gonna try again talking with a British accent.
Please don't.
And-
Please no. Please no.
Of course, I will try. So, most probably I will fail, like I know, but why not, man? Okay?
I can tell you why not. Because the guys listening can just switch off, but I cannot switch off.
Well,
I will have to listen to you for an hour.
wait. Let the people judge. Okay, if you believe that my British accent that I'm gonna start using in a bit is not good enough, please let me know in the comments below. And the Greekness will take me again. But till then, starting now, I'm gonna talk like a British man.
A British, all right. Okay.
Fucking hell, mate. Yeah. So, how was your day?
It was very good. I visited my dietitian today, our beloved friend Steve. Again, yeah, we have bi-monthly, what's it called? Meetings / sessions. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I am on track with my goals, perfectly on track. So this goes really good. And what else? I, of course, worked a bit as well. I also studied a lot about investing too. I watched a lot of videos and I read a lot of things too. I am currently looking to learn how to swing trade, as they call it, which is a form of trading commodities and stocks, cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you?
So, it feels very unnatural, but I'll do my best. So it was.
First of all, did you have your cup of tea, Yanni?
Well, bloody hell, I forgot about it, but it's all right. I'm gonna go grab it in a bit. My week was pretty good. I started a new TV series on Netflix, which is called Peaky Blinders, and basically it's about this gang from Birmingham in UK, where that's where the accent obviously came into my mind. And yeah, anyway, and apart from having this show starting, basically I'm very focused in some final touches on the website, which will be online, and that's the final day. I'm gonna say that on Monday it's online no matter what. I'm planning to just write a couple of blog posts before that so that everything goes in place. And also I've been doing some TA, which is like teaching assistant for the university, which is pretty interesting experience as we discussed last time. And basically today was my first invigilation, if that's a correct word, which means basically, you're observing the students while they're taking the test and you make sure not to cheat. And when I began to do this, I was very strict and I was looking to find who is cheating and blah, blah, blah. And then, all these ideas and images of myself being a student came up, and I was like, you know what? Let the students do what they have to do. Like, you're not going to help them or destroy them. So no one was cheating. but I stopped being that strict.
All right, I get it. Are
Um,
your students British or international?
they're both. Like, of course, they're British, but the University of Manchester is a very multicultural university. Therefore, there are Indians. I found Greek,
I guess
Cypriot.
you also found Portuguese and Spanish, right?
Not really. Like probably, but not that many as you think. Like there were like one or two Greeks, then there were majority was British, and then there were many Indians, Pakistanis, and African Americans. Yeah, basically.
From what you know, like, what's your favorite culture besides the Greek culture?
Is
In
there any
terms
other?
of anything, like
Sorry.
food, cinema, music, landscape, geography,
Yeah.
history, anything like that.
I would say I can decide for the number two. I will tell you like which other nationalities like I really like, and I consider myself like I'm able to communicate further and you know have fun with them. Basically, it's all the Latin people, Mediterranean and Latin people. So this is Italy, Spain, Portugal, and then all the countries of Latin Americas. That I know some people from Colombia, from Venezuela, and stuff like that. These people are exactly like Greeks. Like they don't give a fuck. They yell. They have fun. They're warm with each other, and that's let's say the most common with me. And after that I would say French people, because we both have the background from the school and the language, and my family used to live in Paris for 10 years, so I'm kind of um I've been in Paris like 10, 20 times so far, so for me it's like a second home, let's say.
All right.
So yeah, I would say these people. And in terms of landscape, I don't know because I've never been yet there, but I would say Latin America. Like for me, this is the place that I want to visit more than anything. Like the moment I take my PhD, I told you before, and I tell to everyone in the podcast. So when you know we have episode number, I don't know,
22.
500, 500, 600 of this podcast, and I will be done with my PhD. I'm planning to travel around the world for 18 months, maybe, and some months will be spent in Latin America, learning how to dance properly, Latin salsa, bachata, and stuff like that. Enjoying yerba mate, which is my favorite kind of tea at this specific moment of my life, which is called, as you know, if I'm pretty sure you know it, since you are also a fan of Tim Ferriss, it's called the drink of the gods.
Mm.
It's like a nootropic, and yeah. What about you?
I think that I am most, I'd say, familiar or like um, close to the Turkish culture, to be honest. Uh, I think that I think of them as literally brother, like we are so similar to each other in so many ways. And we are more Turks than Europeans in any standard. To be honest, I've seen it up close, and I really like their food also, and their music, and their women, and their language. I find it very soothing to hear. I don't know. It reminds me of French in a way. I don't know why. Um, but my travel plans for when I will be able to do them, like I can afford them time wise and money wise. I
Be
think,
careful which city you're gonna say first.
yeah, it will be Manchester, of course.
Okay, continue, please.
Yeah, because I love not seeing the sun, and I love being at -5 degrees. It's so good for me. That's why I'm going to Manchester. But besides that, I think that one of my first trips will be somewhere in the Far East, uh, probably something like Japan or uh, I don't know, like or mainland China, Hong Kong, and stuff like that. But probably the countryside of Japan. Like I've seen documentaries and stuff like that, and I really want to visit. And I'm also very, very, very attracted to the samurai culture and the samurai code of conduct. And I would like to, see what kind of in what kind of place did these people live and operate in, uh, that made them become such a culture. And I think that always your environment shapes your reality and your behavior, and this is true for every every population that's out there. For example, in Greece, we are very open and we are very fond of our freedom of expression and freedom of speech and all these beautiful things, mainly because we have so much access to the sea. We can travel to so many different places, like the landscapes are so diverse, the sun is always out. It's very hard to, you know, to close in on yourself because you want to have fun, you want to be outside, and all these beautiful things. But you also see, like, when you go up north, people are more reserved, they are more disciplined in some ways, in generally speaking. They have their own kind of, like, what fun is, what they're how they like to pass their time, what they drink, what they eat, what's available to them. And all these things, I think that they play the most important role in shaping the culture. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But when I'm coming to Manchester, which will probably be like after I've checked Google Weather and a dozen of other weather sites to check that there will be like 150% chance of sun, because otherwise I'm not going to enjoy it.
I hate.
Uh,
I need to
we're
say
going.
something, by the way.
Yes, of course.
While you were saying that one of your favorite place to go, like no, one of the favorite, destination you would like to go, and you think you are very close with those people are the Turkish people. We
Mhm.
have a Turkish person who just joined the podcast,
Wow. All right.
and his name is Batin,
Obertin.
and he's from Turkey. Hey man, thanks for everything. And he has some questions. He's like, I'm finding your videos really helpful in this and your other channel, and it would be good to get some uplifting motivation. Ha ha. So why don't you start for our friend? And how would you describe motivation, by the way? What's your definition of motivation? I think I never asked you about that.
For me, motivation. I think motivation is first of all, I think that motivation is a feeling. First of all, right? Motivation is not a thought. Motivation is not an action. Motivation is a feeling, and motivation is a feeling that can drive you to do things. It can be good things or bad things, but what we are sure of is that a lack of motivation, uh, it leads to inaction, right? And to apathy, to general like passive behavior. So I think that motivation breeds, first of all, from necessity, and second of all, from inspiration, right? So you can find motivation, which means that to move you, this is like where the word comes from, right? To be motivated means to get moved, from having the need of something, right? So I am hungry, I need food, therefore I am motivated to order a pizza. Like we're talking about the most basic form of it, right? So this is one. The other would be that I saw this guy eat 20 pizzas in half an hour, so therefore I am inspired to do the same because I find it that it's very admirable, like that he did that, right? So this is what inspiration, it breeds motivation and then it goes into action, right? So I think that the most powerful motivation comes from necessity, not from inspiration, because of like human psychology itself is really much revolved around the whole idea that negative emotion is much stronger than positive emotion in humans, right? So feelings of scarcity, feelings of need, feelings of of reaching your lower limits and stuff like that is something that can drive you far more forward than trying to chase the positive emotion, I think. And I think that this is the evidence for this comes from the millions and millions of great motivational stories from people that were at the lowest possible point, right? And they made, they completed their hero's journey in a way and went from zero to hero in a way. And I think that this pattern is something that is there for a reason, and that reason is that the necessity, it breeds motivation, and this leads to positive action, and this leads to results. Now, in other way, you can get also inspired, right? But I think that to get inspired, you have to be very, 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 very lucky. You have to have a very good sense of timing. You have to have the circumstances right for you. And you have to have I'd say the mental clarity to get inspired, because like if you are depressed, talking of inspiration is nonsense. Like you have to fix other issues first in a way. So yeah, pretty much that's my viewpoint on it. And let me know what you think actually, because I'm really interested to see, because like you've obviously studied the theory of motivation and you also talk about it so much. So tell me.
The definition.
What do you think of it? Yeah.
In general, okay. I to be honest, I never like choose to have a definition like the dictionaries. Like motivation is having the do 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 do. No, I don't. I'm not like this kind of person. But for me, I would say that basically motivation is having a power within yourself that will make you every day to wake up and be like super energized and ready to conquer basically your day. Like no matter what happens, maybe you lose your sleep because you want to wake up. You remember all those times, when we were young and we had a school trip, or we were about to go on vacation with our family. Like this feeling the night when you go to bed that, oh my God, tomorrow is the day. Yeah, exactly. That's the feeling for me that describes motivation. And motivation, this can be in the work environment, like people that can't wait to wake up to work, in the dates, relationships, like people that can't wait to go on the date with the other person because they're in love and they have butterflies on their bellies and stuff like that. And motivation in every single aspect, like you can't wait to go and see and do something. And of course that's something that comes from within yourself, like, because if you say that I'm very motivated because I want to satisfy my girlfriend, satisfy my mother, my father, that's not real motivation. And real motivation is something that comes from within yourself. Therefore, I would say that the most important thing in defining and finding the real motivation is finding the why behind the things that you do. Why you're doing the work, the job that you do. Why are you in a relationship, and why are you in a relationship with that person? Um, why are you doing the sport that you're doing? When you find the answer to those questions, that might that might sound mundane or really simple to answer, then you know for sure that the reason why you're doing something is the correct reason. So for example, for me, when I started doing martial arts, I was motivated by something external. Basically, I want to take revenge from some people, and I wanted to punch them, and I wanted to make them bleed. And the first, like, I was super young, okay, don't be mad. And the first day I stepped into the ring, on the first class, basically, my eye was bruised by a punch. And my sensei looked at me and he was like, okay, what happened there? And I explained him the whole situation. I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to defend myself and how to punch those people to take revenge. And she looked at me and she said, and I will always remember that, and I'm always saying this, like, she told me that being able to avoid a fight outside of a ring is like being able to win 1,000 fights inside the ring. And even though I didn't really believe him, like I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna fucking punch those people. The moment I started doing martial arts, my whole perspective about what is wrong, what is good, who I'm gonna punch, and the reason why I'm doing this changed. Like I just fell in love with that sport, and I couldn't even think about hitting anyone, because then, as a very wise person says, Uncle Ben, he said that with great power comes great responsibility. So when you actually have the power and the knowledge to hurt someone, it's like it's bad to actually use it. And I had many times while in Greece that I could not start, like continue to give a response to someone that wanted to start a fight. And all these times, what I did was I put my head down and left. Not because I was afraid, but because I knew that I might hurt him, and also maybe she has friends or she has a weapon. Like, you can play with those things. Feel free to externalize all your bad emotions in a ring or a punch bag or or the pads, like the pads, but not on real people. Like, this is irresponsible, and everyone who is doing martial arts because he wants or she wants to take a revenge, that's bad. And that's exactly why I keep continuing doing this martial arts for 3, 4, maybe 5 years, because I had my why was I was enjoying this process, and I was learning things about myself, and I was becoming a better version of myself. That was my why. If I was doing this sport because I wanted to fight and punch and kill someone, then really easily I would stop doing that. And yeah, I think that's the first step for people. It's to find your why. What's the why behind everything that you do? Every single thing and every person you are linked to.
That's very interesting. On the topic of martial arts and anger and like all these things. I've observed that the calmest and the most grounded people in the world are those that are strong as fuck, either mentally or physically, right? And it always surprised me because I thought that if you are strong, like mentally or physically, then you would feel the urge to demonstrate your power, right? And to express it. But in reality, what happens is that you come to the realization that your coach like gave you, your sensei, is that you win the fights that you choose not to engage to 1,000 times more than the fights that you choose to engage. It's because it's like if you have the power to hurt, the moral thing to do is not to hurt anyone. And if you don't have the power, then because you want to compensate, then you feel like that you want to hurt people and stuff like that, which is really, really interesting. I don't know if you have like any crazy stories from the times that you did martial arts about aggression and stuff like that. Like maybe you got into fights that you didn't want to get into, or you avoided fights because you showed character and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what exactly do you mean by that? Like, give me
Like
the
if
context.
you had any moments like where you thought that like there was someone provoking you physically, like they wanted to start a fight, and you were sure that you would kick their ass because you knew uh, Muay Thai, right?
Yeah.
Um, and you chose to like say no because I know that I will beat your ass, and I know that you are ungrounded and you are out of yourself, and I don't want to engage with you. Like, did you have any of these moments?
Definitely, definitely. And I had to say that, like word by word, mate. I'm doing Muay Thai. I don't want to fight,
Yeah.
and still people don't understand. Like you can, you cannot like make sense with a drunk person or with a person who had a bad day. Like I wish I could, but the only way is to just leave. And the thing is that most people had will not leave, will stay there and try to defend their honor and their ego in front of their friends. Like, oh, how dare you talking to me like that, mate? Fuck off! Come on, let's play punches and then they go into a fight. Whereas
Yeah.
you can just be like, yeah, okay, whatever, man, chill, everything is fine, continue your night, and just leave. Like, why would you ever want to ruin your night? Be egoistic with your night. I don't want to ruin my night with, all these things. Because even if I win or lose, this doesn't matter. What matters is that whatever what happens, you will ruin your night. You will raise your palms and your heart beats and maybe you will bleed a little bit and you will destroy your night, definitely.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So just put your head down and leave, and no one's gonna tell you anything because again, you're not doing this, you're not doing Muay Thai, you're not doing any martial arts, you're not gonna fight in the street for someone else. Now if someone risk your family or your friends or your relationship, yeah, go for it. Like defend the people that you love, because at this specific time the reason why you're doing it is internal. It's something from within yourself. Your why is real now. It's not something fake that comes from the outside. It's something that comes from within yourself. In that case, yeah, that's the only case I would ever gonna fight. And even that, they would have to be in real danger, like, or be in real mad and have no other opinion, no other option.
Yeah. Okay, I
I
get
think
it.
you can always avoid the fight.
Yeah, but it's like coming from a guy perspective, like our two most common convictions is that, first of all, if we wanted to, we could sleep with any girl we liked, and if we wanted to, we could beat any guy in a fight, right? It's
Yeah.
like something that every one of us believes deep inside, even though that's so far from the truth, uh, that sometimes it's like we want to prove ourselves to other people, and I think it's the same with gambling, right? It's like I believe that this is my chance, to prove myself, and you get into this mentality, and it's very difficult to snap out of it, I think.
You're definitely correct. I agree.
Yeah. When you were doing Muay Thai, did you also do also did you study books or like stuff like that, like philosophy of Muay Thai or anything that's in relation to Muay Thai?
No, but they taught us how to speak Thai a little bit, like how to call the punches. So basically, Muay Thai, for people that don't know, is, for me at least, the most complete standing martial art, and it has, like, it's called the art of 8 limbs, exactly because you have 8 weapons to hit someone. In box, you only have two, your punches. In kickboxing, you have four, your punches and your kicks, and maybe one knee. And in Muay Thai, you have your punches, which are called mat in Thai. You have your elbows, which are called sok. You have your knees, which are called uh, kao, and your kicks, which are called tao. So basically, we were learning when we were punching how to, call the fights. Matrong sai, matrong kwa, madyang sai, madyang kwa, sok da, sok di, sok pung, sok ratung, and stuff like that. And but I never like studied any book. And yeah, the basic thing was that there was like this traditional way, like we were always listening to the traditional time music when we were doing the training. We were wearing, depending on the levels we were sitting on a different side. And after every training, we were saying thank you and goodbye to our sensei, traditionally in Thai, by saying, what the fuck? What we were saying? Sawatikap. Sawatikap. And yeah, it was really nice. And now, I miss it a lot, and I'm thinking quite a bit about it. But when I go back to Greece permanently, I'm gonna start doing it again.
Don't you have like Muay Thai in Manchester?
We do have in Manchester, but too expensive.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And I prefer like going to the gym. Like my weightlifting is the one, my goal for now.
Okay, I get it. I get it. All right, that's legit. Cool.
And also, no one's like my team in Greece.
Oh, you missed them, right?
Yeah, it was like a kind of family, a society, community.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
When you fight with someone and you bleed each other out and you kill each other, then you can be like super good friends, like no matter what.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You were doing when you were younger, you were doing basketball.
Yeah, yeah, I did it for 7 years.
First of all, I can't imagine why. Like, you're not that tall, but what did you learn from that sport, which is completely different from Muay Thai? But I'm thinking that we can find some common ground between those completely different.
Yeah. First of all, listen to your fucking coach. Um the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't think that's. I think this makes complete sense. Listen to your fucking coach in whatever you do, and if they don't make any sense to you at all, you still have to listen to your coach, first of all. Second is like never bring others down if you want to get in front, in the sense that your teammates, you should respect them like brothers, and you should always cover their ass in a way, because it's true what they say about a team is like a team is as strong as its weakest unit, right? And if there's a weak link in the chain, then you have to protect it. Otherwise, the whole system, like the whole group, it falls apart on its own. That's one. The other one, it would be patience, I think, and I had to learn it in a very personal way, because as I was growing up, I became taller and taller every like 3 to 6 months. I had a growth spurt, and because I'm not very muscular by nature, I had problems like with my knees. I was very lightweight, so I had to adapt in different ways, and it was difficult for me, to just power through it. I had to use my brain in many situations, and this taught me like the value of patience. That like if you want to find a way, that you can find a different way to do things, and do it more effectively than other people that are just more talented and more gifted, like genetically speaking, right? And this makes you like a versatile team player, and a good like basketball player in general, I think. And one last thing is that focus. That's one thing that I did wrong, that I realized way later in my like basketball, I guess, life, is that focusing on the basics is the most important thing that you can do. Like I always looked for the new trick, for the new system, for the new way to shoot the ball, to pass the ball, blah 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 blah, and I never really like grasped onto the basic concepts of playing basketball, right? Which eventually hurt me, and it's like looking for short-term spectacular gains rather than doing the long-term, grinding and hustling the basics and the fundamentals. And I think that's really important. And I think where we relate is probably this the most, because I think that Bruce Lee said that I do not fear the man that with the 1,000 kicks. I fear the man that has practiced the same kick 1,000 times, right? And I think that's so fucking true.
I like that. That's a good one, indeed.
Yeah. But I also think, like, didn't you play football, right?
I did play football.
So you also appreciate like the value of team, right?
Definitely. Like in my beginning was all about football, and I started doing Muay Thai after I became an adult. But I would say that I enjoyed. Well, can't decide which one was the best, the one that I had more fun. But I can definitely say that I think I was more talented in Muay Thai. Football was fun, and for me, what was like
I remember you like wearing your John Terry shirt. Oh my god, yeah.
fucking nerd, yeah, indeed.
I remember it. Yeah, yeah. Did you play defense, right?
Yeah, defense, the last one. Well, it was fucking like I was always annoying the offenses. How do they call them? The people on the offense. I was destroying them. I was the most annoying person in the defense on purpose, because I was trying to make them think about me and what I was saying and forget about the ball and stuff like that.
So you also do you also did psychological like
Yeah, yeah,
warfare.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god!
It was
Oh
crazy.
wow,
Like our
that's so
coach
interesting.
told us some tricks. So basically, when you have the corner, you put your pinky finger inside the sword of the offender you are guarding,
Mm-hmm.
and when he's going to jump to take the header,
Yeah.
his sword falls down, so he stops jumping, and that's how you cannot you protect your goalkeeper. But it was quite dirty what we were playing. But for me, it wasn't like the football matches that I enjoyed. It wasn't the practice. It was those like half an hour to 1 hour before the game where we were sitting inside
Locker room.
the locker rooms, and we were chatting bullshit. And the coach was like, you will play, you don't play, and you will be like that and blah, blah, blah. And it was like all this fun vibe, and oh, let's go, yeah, 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 songs and stuff like that. It
Mm.
was super sick. But
Wow.
definitely for me, Muay Thai was the thing that had more um impact on my personality, because I learned how to battle with myself. Because when you go inside the ring, it's not only you against the other person, it's also you against your own self, your own doubts, your
Mm.
insecurities, all the people that are watching you. It's like, I think it's a self-development sport.
Mm.
Done. Period. There's no other way. Like, dude, I remember myself, I had to play with the number one in Greece, and it was my third fight, I think. And I was, needless to say, scared shitless, if that's the word.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much beaten. Fuck. And I had like a Theo, who was like a Greek Australian junior coach, and he was like, come on, mate. What the fuck? What's up? What the fuck is up, dude? I don't know. Maybe she's good. No, no. Are you here to lose or are you here to win, mate? I was like, no, I'm fucking here to win. Then go there and win, mate. You can do it, mate. Come on. I was like, fuck yeah. I went in the locker rooms, did dynamic meditation. I think the whole stadium heard me. Went inside and I fucking beat the shit out of this guy, man. I won.
Wow.
And like, yeah. Just it was, if Theo was never saying these things to me, I would have lost. I strongly believe it. It's all about psychology, believing in yourself with no doubts, and of course, doing all the practice and learning how to hit, where to hit, with how much power to hit, and have the endurance and stuff like that. Of course, it's a sport. You need certain things and qualities, but the most important thing is the psychology.
Oh, you
Maybe in
really do
everything.
believe that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I believe the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think that in my experience at least, because like what you want to aim for is consistency, right?
True.
Because you want to have like across time, you want to have expectedly like better and better results. Okay, and I think that if you take psychology into account, then you have a greater deviation, you know, uh, from your average results. But if you focus on your practice and on your like skills, your cold skills, then what happens is that you can execute whether you feel like it or not. Okay, and I think that that's so different. Like your mentality from my mentality are like polar opposites, I think,
Yeah.
because I think that like even if you felt like shit at that moment, it would be like, in my mind, like if I were in your position, like I would feel like it was my my moral obligation in a way to ignore completely my feelings and just, just play, play the fighting sport and apply what I learned in the countless hours of practice and in the countless hours of pain that I endured to reach that moment. And it's like, I think that, my personal opinion, of course, right, that yielding to your feelings, to your negative feelings at the moment, is like showing that you are not respectful of your effort, and you are not grateful of your like opportunity. And it's like what your friend said, it's like a loser mentality. That's true. I think that's a loser mentality in and of itself.
But that's also psychology, I think. I would say
I think in a way it's psychology, but
that's why I'm.
it's ignoring it, I think, for the most part. It's
Oh,
ignoring your present psychology and looking at the bigger picture, in my opinion.
yeah,
And it's
yeah, I
like
see.
drawing confidence not from like how you pump up yourself at the moment, but drawing confidence by knowing the fact that you are the best prepared that you can be in any way, and you are a machine. Like you're literally you're performing as would a machine perform. Like a machine does not have feelings, and you expect it to perform the same way every time you turn it on, right?
Ah,
And I,
yeah.
I think this is like my cup of tea, as you would say in Manchester.
Well, I cannot disagree with what you're saying, mate. But uh, let's be honest. I don't think that people, and especially like young kids, and I'm not talking about professionals, but like kids and younger adults in their early 20s, I don't think they can think like that. Like, oof, would be so hard for people to be like, yeah, I'm a machine. I'm here to win. There's no other way. Because I think it's also part of the game to lose and learn from that loss. From like for me, my first fight was a complete disaster. I was winning. I went to attack the other person with my hands down. I I received a beautiful punch on my face and I fell down. Then I stand up again, of course, but I lost because of that. And then I learned always keep your hands to the head. But I will say that you cannot control your psychology if you're not a professional. Like if you're learning and this is your first fight, the first two, three, five, 10 fights, you're still learning. You don't know what to expect. And also don't forget the fact that yeah, this can be all right in a sport where there is no violence involved, but when you're on the ring and you see the other person looking at you with hatred and you feel the punch on your face, trust me, like you will fear, like fear. You will feel the fear. You will feel the pain. You will feel like, oh my god, what I'm gonna do? Fuck. And that's where you have to do, the psychology trick inside you. What you say as a default state can be triggered at this specific moment because when you first take the first 10 hits and you start feeling the pain, that's when the nature and the instinct has to come up and be like, dude, what the fuck, wake up, you're the winner, you're a beast, fucking kill him, and then you go. I think in
Okay.
the beginning you will go like, I don't know what to expect, because you don't know how the other person is playing, and you try to psychoanalyze him. We are doing these crazy things, for example, and yeah, but when you start taking the punches and when you start crying, you know what I mean, like when your eyes naturally cry because of the
Yeah,
punch,
no, when they punch you in the nose, right?
yeah, or in the eyes,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
then you don't have many options. You either fall down and leave, or you fight back.
yeah. I get it.
So
I completely get it. Yeah.
yeah,
I want to share a quote with you. I really, really like it. It's very
please.
relevant. It's from John Coltrane, who was one of the greatest jazz players that ever lived, right? It was John Coltrane, Miles Davis, like these two guys. He said that, um, first, you have to master the instrument and the notes, and then you have to forget all that and just play.
Nice.
It's like it's exactly that. That you have to train hard and you have to learn the ins and outs of your craft, of your sport, of your anything, right? And then when it's time to perform, it's like you have to literally let it flow from your insides at that moment and apply what you learned subconsciously and react with your instincts at that moment. Like you said, like a person is punching you in the face, like you need to wake up and respond in a way, right?
Yeah.
And at that moment it's not like you consciously remember the special technique or all these like weird things or the notes or the beautiful guitar riff or anything like that. It's like it comes through you because like you internalized it so good, so well that like it becomes a part of you, right?
Like that.
Yeah. I love jazz, by the way. I'm a huge fan.
I prefer blues, but
Yeah, because blues speaks to the soul, right?
oh, of course. Blues Masters.
Yeah,
Anyway, should we call it a day?
yeah. I think we should call it a week because, like, we're going to
Yeah.
talk next week again, right?
But as I promised you, first of all, guys, for all the people that are new to the podcast, when we finish every episode, what we do with Stratis is that we ask each other a scenario where we both die at some moment, and we have to share our last final thoughts as if those thoughts and words were the last we could ever give to the people around us. And because Stratis last week, how did you kill me, man? Remember me? Remind me?
How did I kill you? By making you choke on your
On
chicken.
my chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at all. And I'm a Scorpio, so I always remember the bad things that people did to me. It's time for my revenge.
All right. Should it?
So, my friend,
Yes.
my co-host,
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine that you you're taking a trip. Where do you want to go? I'll give you all the money.
I want to go to Japan. Yeah, like I said
Japan.
before.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm sending you the money via PayPal, and you go, you book your ticket, and now you are on the airplane. Okay?
Yeah.
And the airplane starts to, have meet some turbulence. And falls down and falls down and falls down and falls down and hits a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not dying. You're not dead yet. You fall down. You fall down during all this, feeling the pain. Your half body's burned, and you fall inside the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And you have both of your arms and both of your legs crushed. You cannot do anything.
All right.
So basically, you're floating. You're not floating. You're drowning in the cold ocean. And while you're drowning, a fucking shark comes and eats you.
Fuck. Yeah.
Tell me the last words. Now that I took my revenge, what are your last words? Right before the shark gives you the final bite. What would you like to share with the world?
um.
Don't
Wow.
mess with me
Okay.
and my chicken.
I would say I don't know. Like today, I had a good moment where I paused everything and listened to a very good song that I really like for 10 minutes. Right? I didn't do anything else. I just listened to the music. I looked at my ceiling for 10 minutes, and I really needed it. So I would say that take it easy. It's like it's no big deal, right? So if you don't get it today, you might get it another day. If you never get it, then you might as well enjoy not getting it. And so I'd say like, yeah, take it easy. Easy is
Okay.
just that. I don't know. I just smile with the thought of it, like by just remembering today's moment of me, like listening to that song, and after a really frustrating day, like remembering like how I felt while I listened to that song, I was like, oh my god, yeah, why do I stress so much? There is no point. There is really no point. Like, take it easy, dude. I think that would be my gravestone. It would say like, take it easy, dude.
Lol.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yanni,
Oh my god. Yeah.
okay.
Kill me.
I don't know. I would suggest that you go to sleep today,
Man, don't
tonight.
do that. Don't do that to me. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, and then there are a couple of burglars that come in your house, in your apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course they have guns.
Of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
and because they are junkies and stuff like that, they lack the clarity, like not to kill you, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like they invade your house and they wake you up, and then you go through this interaction with them where they ask you for money and you tell them that you have no money, but they don't listen to you because they are junkies, you know what I'm saying. And because like you're not giving them the money, like you see your gun, their gun pointed to your head. Okay.
Okay.
And with each and every passing moment, you become more and more certain that they will fucking shoot you in the head.
Okay.
Okay, and this happens tonight.
Can I change?
What goes through your head when this happens?
Okay. So, of course, Belgars. Blah. Yeah.
Burglars, yeah.
Burglars. Sorry. Of course, I have gun. By the way, all the people listening to the podcast might, at some point, or when we find so many ways to kill each other, I think they will be like, "Are these people now talking about self-development and philosophy, or how to kill someone?" Anyway, that's imagination. I would say, and I will give also a lesson to the burglar in front of me, that there are some moments in our life where we truly have a gun to the head. And at that specific moment, we either do what the person who holds the gun says, or we die. And sometimes we need this gun to the head mentality to move forward. We need to, lose our job in order to start an online business. We need to lose our relationship and get and break up from them because in order for us to start talking to the beautiful person who is our co-worker. We need to go through some bad and difficult moments in order for us to realize that we have to also chase the good moments. What I think is really important for us to understand, though, is that we don't need this gun to the head to move forward. Like, you don't need to hurt yourself or go through pain in order to take a lesson. You can also prioritize, strategize, think, and act with a plan. You can use an imaginary gun to the head mentality. What would I do if this would happen? But for me, it's super important to stop waiting for something external, which might be good or bad, to motivate us, and basically just find the power within ourselves to move forward. And no matter how many thieves, burglars, sharks, chicken will go into our way and try to kill us, we will make it happen as long as we have the power, as long as we unleash the power that is hidden within ourselves. And I strongly believe that we have a superpower. We are a superhuman. We are a superhero. But instead of whining for everything that is against us, let's just move on.
Great. If you say that to them, maybe they won't shoot you.
Yeah.
Maybe you just saved your ass.
Maybe. Okay, so
when can we expect your website?
It's final, like this is a promise, Monday.
Monday. Let me check the date. Monday is the 12th.
Monday the 12th.
March 12th, 2018, right?
Yeah, this is the day.
Okay. Do we have also hour or minutes or like something like that? Like, will it be 5 p.m.? Will it be like, please?
Haven't thought, at some point, most probably after 5.
After 5 p.m.
Yeah.
UK time, right?
UK time, yeah.
Okay, so everyone will know. Where can we expect an announcement? Like on Instagram, on YouTube?
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram.
And maybe YouTube as well.
Okay. So guys, you can find Yannis at Instagram at Yannis_Pantelis. You can also find him here on YouTube. You can find him on Facebook again at Yannis Pantelis.
No, it's .com, facebook.com / or however this is called, Yannis himself, one word.
Yannis himself, okay, sorry, I didn't know that. You guys can visit my blog, stratiscaradakis.com, or Instagram at stratiscarad.
Everything is linked below.
It was a fucking pleasure, to be honest, today. Take it easy, dudes. And goodbye from me.
Thank you very much. As always, we'll see you next week.